Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do apologize about the delay. Okay, that dude that Adam likes, okay, actually popped up. No, I'm just kidding. He does like him. But welcome again to Cruising with the Case Handler right here, obviously on, of course, 93.5 WVIP, and of course your favorite Facebook page. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we do? What do we do on Cruising with the Case Handler? Ladies and gentlemen, what we do actually is we talk on personal injury, we talk on immigration, and it's a great show. We've been doing this now for just about since the year started, a little bit thereabouts, and it has been great. So I wanted to say a super pleasant good day, reaching out to each and every one. I want to introduce right now, of course, my team right here. Cruising with a Case Handler, of course, is hosted by yours truly, David Squeeze Annakie, and obviously Adam Handler, the man who has settled well over $100 million for people within the Caribbean community and beyond. And of course, that is the reason why the show is now called Cruising with the Case Handler, which is Adam Handler. We also have Conrad Pollack, managing partner at the firm, Pollack, Isaac and the Seco. We also have Nelson Madrid, okay, the Maverick, the top gunner, the man that deals with all your removal proceedings, your deportation. Have a little run-in with the law, filing for your green card, your citizenship. You need that man and only that man when it comes to immigration. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping off the show right now because we need to speak about a few things here. I'm going to say welcome, Conrad. You are the managing partner. We've been talking that we need to talk about something very specific that everyone out there needs to actually hear. So I wanted to actually let you jump off the show this morning right here on, of course, 93.5 FM and beyond.
I'm honored to be leading off. Usually that's the honor of the case handler himself, getting the ball rolling every morning. So,
well, we figured your son is a great leadoff hitter, so why not have if dad could lead off, why not?
Well, hopefully he's watching and just heard the compliment. Anyway, thanks and good morning, everybody. I've been wanting to talk about one thing that's a very important aspect of immigration law as things go on today. We get a lot of calls from clients basically asking us questions about how to do applications themselves. Plenty of people, get married and go and apply for adjustment of status, and a lot of times think they don't need an attorney. And in the past, that was often the case. I mean, if you have complications, if you have a criminal issue, if you've committed some kind of immigration offenses that might affect your case down the road, obviously it's always a good idea to have an attorney. But there are those people that have a totally clean record, never been arrested, and have no immigration issues. The only thing they did wrong maybe was come with a visa and overstayed, but they get married to a U.S. citizen and apply for adjustment of status, and assuming they can show that they can support themselves, they're able to get their green cards usually, whether they have an attorney or not. Again, it's always advisable to have an attorney because you never know what's going to happen at an interview. You never know what kind of examiner you're going to get or how objective or subjective he may be in terms of your case. So I'm certainly not suggesting that anybody ever approaches the Immigration Service without having an attorney with them. Now, these days, I can't stress that more than I am. Things have changed. The administration has made things as difficult as possible to obtain green cards. As I've been talking about for the past week, Trump just instituted a ban on people getting green cards that are outside the United States with limited effect. The administration is doing everything they can to prevent people from coming to the United States, and for those people that are here from legalizing their status. One of in fact, probably the most effective means that they have passed into law is what's called the public charge rule. Now, it only recently took effect, and before I get into it, public charge, the public charge aspect of immigration law has always been something that's been there. Anyone who applies for a green card needs to demonstrate that they can support themselves. So anybody who's out there and has applied for a green card in the past, when they get married or applying for their parents or kids, you always have to submit an affidavit of support, show your tax return, show that you're working, show that you can support yourself, that you're not going to become a public charge, meaning that you're not going to be just solely reliant on the government to support you. You need to show you can work. You need to show you have family members that can support you in the event you can't work. That's always been the law. However, the Trump administration and its infinite I don't want to use the word wisdom. I want to use the opposite of wisdom. Ignorance is a better word. Has made it exceedingly more difficult to prove that you will not become a public charge. They have created a new form. It's an application. It's an I-944 application. Again, brand new. We're talking about a regulation that only recently took effect, and cases that were filed 6 months ago, a year ago, you won't be affected by those by this new regulation because it only takes effect. It only affects cases that were filed after it took effect, which was recent. But cases that you're filing now will be affected and will be affected substantially. If you can't demonstrate that you can support yourself, if you can't demonstrate that your family can support you in the event that you can't work, you're sick, laid off, something like that, you will be denied. And these days, when your application is denied, it doesn't just go to a pile in a back room somewhere and you never hear from the Immigration Service again. Now, when you get denied, especially you apply for adjustment of status and get denied, you will be placed in removal proceedings. And that's not something you want. Again, another reason to not file applications with the Immigration Service without an attorney. Even if you think you have the cleanest case in the world and you've never been arrested, you've never done anything wrong with the Immigration Service, I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to at least seek the advice of an attorney before you file your application. Again, this is a new regulation. If you have friends or your own case or family that have filed, they haven't heard about this yet because it hasn't taken effect. It hasn't affected cases that were filed previously. It's only starting to affect cases going forward, and you will be hearing about it, and it's going to be creating a terrible, terrible outcome for so many cases. And again, it's difficult, Squeeze, for us to talk to people about this at this point because it hasn't happened yet. You know, nobody really knows about it. They might have heard rumblings in the press about some new public charge issues, but now, whereas previously they would just submit an affidavit of support with tax returns and a job letter showing you could support yourself, now they will look and they will see the Immigration Service will look to seek what kind of close relationship the person who provided the affidavit has with the person who's providing on behalf of. They'll look at the age of the person, the health, does he speak English, what his education level is, what are his prospects for employment going forward. They'll look to see what kind of assistance they received in the past 3 years, meaning Section 8 housing, public housing, non-essential Medicaid, and the list goes on and on. These are not factors that ever went into a determination about a public charge determination, right? They will be going forward. And again, I cannot stress to the people out there enough how this is going to become the major factor in determining these applications, whether they get approved or denied. And again, it's been difficult, just in general at the firm, it's been difficult explaining this to people because again, it's brand new and nobody's seen it yet. Few people have heard about it, but it hasn't gone into practice yet, but it's coming. It's coming. In the case you filed today, you get married and you submit your adjustment of status application today, you're going to get an interview in 1.5 years. When you go on that interview, if you get the interview without the 944 application, which probably you won't, you'll have to submit it and submit all this documentation in advance. If you don't have that prepared and it's not prepared properly, you will be denied. And if you're denied, you are very likely going to end up in removal proceedings. So again, you see how passionate I am about this because I see it coming. I've been doing immigration law for over 30 years. I can see a storm brewing. I can see when a storm is coming. And this is a storm that is coming. And I can't stress enough to people out there to be prepared. And the way you prepare, the best way to be prepared is to have an attorney reviewing your application, representing you, and making sure everything is done right, because you only get one chance. And again, in a situation like this, if you get denied, you will be placed in removal proceedings, and then you have bigger problems. So, and I know a lot of people are concerned about spending money on an attorney, and obviously there's an expense there. But if you do this case yourself and it gets denied and you end up in removal proceedings, you will be spending a lot more money to defend yourself from being removed from the United States. So it's better to have an attorney up front, spend whatever the necessary amount is at the beginning, as opposed to spending a lot more down the road when your application gets denied. Not to talk about the emotions and the stress that results from getting the application denied and how it could tear a family apart. So that's my take on the subject. And I'm going to be talking about this regularly now because I want to educate people about this because people don't know. People are not aware of it yet because it hasn't happened yet. but it's coming. It is coming.
Okay.
You know, David, just to add to what Conrad,
I was going to ask you to add, but let me just squeeze in the number there quickly. All right, and then I'll let Nelson Madrid, another immigration attorney, just like Conrad Pollack, a managing a partner at the firm, and of course, I'm immigration attorney. I'll let him follow up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you notice we made Conrad Pollack speak on this immigration. I don't know what you want to call it, public charge that's coming, and pretty much what it is that he's saying is, don't file your paperwork yourself, all right? Because of this public charge that is coming, and he's concerned, he's worried about what is going to happen to a lot of people who do not, actually get themselves an attorney and maybe put in removal proceedings, which I'll ask Nelson to comment on. But dial this number now. At least you'll be able to get a free consultation. This is not a joke. This is not a gimmick. This is not a bluff. This is for real. This is David Squeeze Annakie telling everyone that's tuning into 93.5 WVIP FM. This is breaking news. There's something called a public charge, which he'll expand on more again later. Dial this number, 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. Everyone that's tuning in, everyone that's about to file or filing, make the call to the law firm PPID 844-774-3529. And guess what? Conrad and his team have made the consultation absolutely free. You're speaking with an attorney for free. But dial this number and call before the top of the hour. The number is 844-774-3529. Just say Squeeze, say Adam, say Conrad, say Nelson, say 93.5. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a free phone consultation. All right. Want to remind you that this is a consultation over the phone. Let me disclaim that. A consultation over the phone. Make the call. It's privately done. It's confidentially done. 844-774-3529. Thank you so much, Nelson, for reminding me on that it's a phone consultation that you can make now. Call the number. It's for free. Nelson, yes. Go ahead, Maverick.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add, when Conrad said it was relatively new, it went into effect on February 24th of this year, which is one of the reasons so many people have not heard about it. Okay, so if you filed an application after February 24th, 2020, you are subject to this new requirement, which was, again, not previously required. It's not just an application. There's also supporting documentation, such as credit reports,
supporting documentation,
right? Yeah. Credit reports, tax transcripts.
Wow, credit reports?
Yes.
Jesus.
And,
why would they need one's credit reports?
Because they want to make sure you're not going to be dependent on the state or the country once you get a green card, that you're not going to get a green card and all of a sudden, go on Social Security, get food stamps, get on Section 8. So in an effort or in an attempt to prevent this, they're requiring all of these documents to determine whether or not you're more likely to become a public charge.
This is unbelievable.
Look, this is an attempt by the administration to make it more difficult for people to legalize. This is their way of thinning the ranks of applicants. This is a way of them scaring people from applying, because if somebody thinks, oh well, I was on I've been in Section 8 housing for the last couple of years, I'm going to get denied. So they're not going to apply for their green card. They're going to remain illegal, and maybe they get picked up, and maybe they get deported. This is a way for the administration to limit legal immigration. It's an underhanded way of doing it, surreptitious way of doing it, but that's exactly what they're doing, and that's what the intent is. There are people out there that might have already seen this 944 application, but if those haven't, will see it. They're in for a surprise when they do.
Wow. All right. Once again, folks, this is Cruising with the Case Handler. The case handler happens to be Adam Handler himself. Okay. And we are here and we are talking on immigration and personal injury. We just heard about the public charge that's here already. It's February what, Nelson? It came
February 24th, it went into effect.
February 24th. 4th, it went into effect. So all these people filing all their paperwork, pretty much, as he said, the administration is pretty much looking to make sure they dot the I's, cross the T, and making sure that you're not going to become a liability to the country. Do you want to do this by yourself? No, you do not want to file your papers yourself. You could possibly get screwed and get put in removal proceedings because you're out of status. And then once you get put in removal proceeding, you will then pay more to an attorney, okay, like Maverick, okay, to fight for you. So do it right the first time by seeing an attorney. Let them review everything. Let them go over everything. Let them handle your case. Don't try to do it, ladies and gentlemen, by yourself. I can't appeal and implore you to do the right thing. This is serious. I mean, before, yeah, fine, you may want to go try and do it yourself, but now I wouldn't. So call this number, 844-774-3529. The consultation is free. It's a phone consultation. Make the link, 844-774-3529. Get your consultation today, 844-774-3529. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Nelson. Let's switch gears for a minute and go to my personal injury attorney, my attorney, the case handler, your attorney, the case handler, because you've got one choice, one chance, and he is your case handler. And I must remind you, he who represents himself as a fool for a client, he who represents himself has a fool for a client. All right?
Don't take my word for it. Take Abraham Lincoln's word for it. That's the point we're trying to come across, get across today. And it certainly goes for personal injury. And obviously, from what you heard from the Maestro and the Maverick, goes for immigration as well. Most of the times with respect to any legal issue, you got one shot to get it right. Yes, there are appeals, but most of them are unsuccessful. And it's certainly, if you're put in deportation proceedings, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more for a very smaller chance to remaining legally here in the United States. So, I'm glad that we spent the bulk of the morning talking about the fact that we here at Pollack, Isaac DeSico stress to you guys out there that we are attorneys that are here to help and want to help, because we keenly understand that there are no redos. And we always say one chance, one choice. I'm your case handler. Pollack, Isaac DeSico is a firm that I'm a partner of. We're all one and the same. We're all one family. So when I say the case handler, it means every single person from the receptionist to the managing partner, that we're all one team here. And we really try to do things the right way. Personal injury, we've settled over $10 million this year alone, we got to update, but well over $100 million during the course of my career. And we're here for you. We're open for business. And of course, we're doing those free consultations as a way of us giving back to the community that's embraced us. We're getting calls left and right. And some people say, well, when can we come in and meet with the attorney? Well, not right now, because we're dealing with the pandemic and our offices functionally are closed down in 225 Broadway on the 3rd floor. But the attorneys are all standing by on their phones, ready to help anybody out there that has any immigration question, ready to help anybody out there that has any personal injury question. We've probably signed up about a dozen cases since the pandemic hit, which is lower than our normal average, but that's a good thing. Less people are on the roads right now getting into car accidents, less people are walking on the street, tripping over things, less people are working on construction sites. So the accidents are less frequent. Those are good things, but we certainly expect that those numbers are going to increase once things thaw out a little bit and people are trying to get back to their normal daily activities. It's just a way of life. What we deal with here at the firm is positive things, but negative things as well. And the accidents are the negative things, but they can happen at midnight. They can happen at noon. The best way to protect you and your family is to have that number saved. And it's 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844-PPID-LAW. And for anybody out there that's watching us on Facebook right now, we thank you so much. For anybody listening right now, on 93.5. If you can go on Facebook and check out Case Handler and follow it, or check out Pollack, Isaac DeSico and follow it, we greatly appreciate it, because then you can continue the show with us after the top of the hour, and you can see Big Abe Lincoln behind me with that quote, "He who represents himself has a fool for a client," because it's absolutely true. There's no way about it. Even an attorney would be a fool to represent themselves if they ever had a legal issue. So we're here to help. We're here to stay. We're here to give information. We don't charge for information. We just thank everybody out there for giving us the time of their morning to listen to us and hopefully, get something informative and educational and even inspiring from what we're saying.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, it's about 3 minutes before the top of the hour. I'm asking everyone that is listening to 93.5 FM right now, if you would like to get more information on personal injury and, yes, immigration, we will be actually answering questions on the flip side. So make sure you join Facebook right now and actually go to David Squeeze Annakie's Facebook page, or as Adam said, the Case Handlers page, or Pollack, Isaac and DeSico's page as PPID's page. We are going to be answering your immigration questions. We are going to be talking about a true success story of a personal injury case that Adam Handler, the case handler, handled. So once again, go to David Squeeze Annakie's Facebook page, just type in the name, go to the case handler or PPID's page, and just like and follow the page. You will get notifications also if and when we do go live. Once again, the show comes your way each and every single weekday morning at 8:30 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. And also, of course, on Saturdays at 7 p.m., Sundays at 12 noon. So make sure you check it out. I've got 3 attorneys here with me. The case handler, the most celebrated personal injury attorney within our community. Conrad Pollack, managing and working partner, okay, at the firm Pollack, Isaac and DeSico. Top gunner, Maverick himself. When you get put in removal proceedings because you did not listen to us, okay, to hire an attorney, this is the man who is now going to have to fight very hard for you. Listen, prior results do not guarantee similar outcomes. So ladies and gentlemen, I beg and plead of you, have an attorney handle your case, and that attorney should be with, of course, the law firm PPID. With that said, everyone that wants a free U.S. immigration phone consultation off the air, call this number now. It's 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Yes, we are now, I want to switch quickly back to personal injury before we get off the top. The country evidently is unfolding, and now they're planning on reopening up, okay? You're going to see a lot of accidents happening, a lot of injuries happening, because everyone is just in so much rush and overwhelmed by everything. Remember, if and when you do get hurt in an accident, you need only one man, because you've got that one choice. Now, why am I so passionate? A word that Conrad used earlier. I have seen what Adam Handler, the case handler, has done for the past 15 years for my people. I have seen people who are out of status even get into car accidents and other accidents who he has settled millions of dollars for. So dial the number, let it ring 15, 20 seconds, and store it. God forbid you get into an accident. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you check out the show. Make sure you dial that number. And they also have got criminal defense attorneys and more. So make sure you check it out. With that said, we're going to the top. Come to Facebook, David Squeeze Annakie. All right, gentlemen, we're here on the flip side. And I just want to say, Conrad, Nelson, Adam, thanks for stressing that. And, I will be repeating this show twice today at noon and also in the evening, because I think this is extremely important. And also over the weekend, that people understand how serious this is. And I can see it in Conrad's face that he's like, this is coming. This is really coming.
This is serious stuff. And, again, people don't realize it yet because it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. And I know a year from now, this is going to be the most common issue we deal with in our firm. We're going to be seeing it on a daily basis. people getting denied or people getting requests for additional documentation to prove that they're not going to be a public charge. Again, this is a way for the administration to thin the ranks of intending immigrants, to prevent people from legalizing, to force people to give up all hope and go back to their countries or go back where they came from. Their famous line. It's coming. I don't want to be the guy crying wolf, right? But it's coming, right? And people are going to see. They're going to look back and going to say, you know what? I remember watching that lawyer on Facebook on the radio 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and he said something about this, and oh wow, he was right. And then they're going to call. Hopefully, they still have our number.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Conrad Pollack, okay, the maestro, an immigration attorney and managing partner at the firm, okay, and we're trying to tell, you know, a lot of people out there, you know, please, please, please adhere, ladies and gentlemen, hire the firm to handle your case and keep yourself out of trouble, okay? At least you have an attorney representing you, and I like what it is that Adam had behind his picture there. It was pretty good, and it's definitely true. All right, we're going to be going to some questions now. All right, so let me go to the first question here. Okay, and I want to say thanks to the Squeeze team for popping up that form, getting me the questions. All right, this person said it's his second marriage. Just a month ago, my wife, him and his wife has a child of 6. Let me read this verbatim. You guys can decipher. I'm always having a problem. Hi, it's my second marriage just a month ago, and my wife has on child 6 years. She lives in Pakistan. Now I'm going to apply for the immigration process to bring my spouse with her child here in the USA. I want to know what kind of documents does she need to arrange for her child for immigration with birth certificate and passport.
I'm going to guess and say that this person who sent this in is a U.S. citizen, and he's trying to bring his wife and their child. Right. I don't know how old the child is.
6 years, I guess.
Okay.
I guess it's 6 years old. Yeah.
All right. Well, the short answer is, to keep it simple, he's going to be applying for his wife and he's going to be applying for his child. As a U.S. citizen, he needs to submit separate petitions for each of the people. So one I-130 petition for his wife, one I-130 petition for his daughter. They will submit those documents to the Immigration Service along with marriage certificate, any divorces if either of them have been married before, birth certificates, proof of the U.S. citizen's citizenship, whether he was born here or naturalized. They submit all that to the Immigration Service. Typically, the I-130 takes roughly 6 to 8 months these days, I'm assuming, it's going to take to get approved, and then another 6 to 8 months for an interview. Eventually, they'll have their interviews in Pakistan, and again, assuming he's a citizen. If he's not a citizen, it's a different process, and as a permanent resident, he's banned. They can't do that application under the current law. They can file it, but they can't finish it. So, in fact, now that I think about it, because permanent residents cannot currently, for 60 days at least, probably going to be longer, but permanent residents can't sponsor anybody at this point based on this new ban. That doesn't mean they can't submit the petitions, right? They can still file those petitions, because a case like that takes a few years anyway. And hopefully by that time, we'll have a new president, a new administration, and intelligence leading the federal government. So I wouldn't not submit any petitions at this point. I would continue to file my case. It's going to take time to finish it anyway, but certainly as a citizen, no reason not to file. And as I said, year and a half, they should be done following the instructions I just gave.
Okay. Is Pakistan one of those countries that, of course, the United States may look at very closely?
Absolutely. Also? Always. That's nothing new. Always. But, you know, typically what they're looking for in a situation like that, it's going to be, again, getting back to what I said, is this person are these people coming to the U.S. going to be public charges? That's going to be the key issue. There's no fraud there unless the wife tried to sneak into the country previously, or which I'm going to assume they didn't. But a U.S. citizen applying for his family, and a country like that especially, they're going to look closely at any public charge issues. Also, terrorism issues are always a concern these days. That's nothing new. But the public charge issue is going to be the one that, if anything, that causes them grief, it's going to be that.
Okay. All right. Here's another one. quick question. They say, my wife and I are both a green card holder and have stayed outside the U.S. for more than a year and have to return to the U.S. Could you tell me if there would be any problems being allowed back in?
You could have that one, Nelson.
Sure. When you're outside of the United States for a year or more, there's a presumption that you've abandoned your lawful permanent resident status. You can go to the airport and try to enter the United States, and there's a possibility they may let you in. There's a possibility they may not let you in. It's pretty much a chance you take. Typically, when you plan to be outside of the United States for an extended period of time, you're supposed to file for what's called a re-entry permit. And you file for the re-entry permit while you're still in the United States before you actually leave. But again, being abroad for a year or more, there's a presumption that you've abandoned your green card. We have handled cases like that in the past. We had a client who was actually abroad for more than 1 year. When she tried to re-enter the United States, she was basically placed into what's called secondary inspection, served with a notice to appear. And we were able to successfully argue that she never, in fact, abandoned her lawful permanent resident status. But of course, this was done before an immigration judge in immigration court. But we were able to successfully argue that. Our client had maintained ties to the United States. She had petitioned for her husband while they were abroad, and she was actually undergoing in vitro, and she was having health issues while abroad. But they still put her into removal proceedings, and we still had to fight that case.
You know, adding to that, the comments that Nelson just made, people with green cards should make a habit of not staying outside the United States for more than 6 months at a time. 6 months is really the first dividing line, if you want to call it that, when people are outside the U.S. If you remain outside the U.S. for more than 6 months and then come back, the burden is on the government to prove that you intended to abandon your residence, and usually it's easily overcome, unless somebody does it on a regular basis. So over the last 5 years, they stay out 8 months every year. Someone like that is going to eventually have a problem, and they're going to get stopped at the airport, and they could lose their green cards that way. So they should, if at all possible, if you have a green card, you should always try to return to the U.S. within 6 months each year. Now, going beyond that, the 1 year thing, that's a more hard and fast rule. If you stay out for more than 1 year, as Nelson said, the burden is on you to prove that you didn't abandon your residence. A lot more difficult because, again, as Nelson said, immigration will assume, if you stayed out for more than a year, the government will assume that you intended to abandon your residence. Again, there are ways around it. I'm giving general rules here, but it's something to be concerned about, that 6 month and 1 year mark for residents who are outside the U.S. Also, complicating factor right now, there are no flights. People can't get into the consulates. They can't get flights back to the U.S. There are going to be other factors that are going to exacerbate this situation going forward, which, you know, we're already getting calls from a lot of people saying, I can't get back in. What's going to happen to my green card? So it's a concern.
Okay. And this is something that you believe that they should definitely choose an attorney to handle, because God knows what can happen, right? You're asking an attorney if you should hire an attorney.
No, that goes without saying. That goes without saying.
Absolutely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, okay, something that we don't do enough of is actually mentioning the number after each question or after each comment or segment. And we got to do that. Remember, the number to call, ladies and gentlemen, to set up your consultation, to get your free consultation and even retain the firm happens to be 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Let me turn this around. I think I'm getting too much light in the background there. 844-774-3529. Make that call right now. 844-774-3529. Adam, can you give us, let's switch gears again, go to personal injury. I want to get a true success story in before we actually end this segment here today.
Sure, absolutely. And what better day to do it than Tuesday? You know, we post every Tuesday, Testimonial Tuesday. What's Testimonial Tuesday? Nelson, what's Testimonial Tuesday?
Well, Testimonial Tuesday is when we talk about, obviously, one of the cases that you successfully handled and got a favorable settlement for one of your clients. But I haven't actually been privy to the real Testimonial Tuesday, which I believe is when someone actually comes on and talks about
we got to get them on next week. We will on Tuesday we will have somebody on for sure. And it's a great day because we really hear a true life success story. We really hear how we as a firm, PPID, the case handler, Adam Handler, Matt Goodstein, Sandra, Ralston, Ruthie, Rhubarb, Sandy, how we've really changed lives.
Don't forget, Ralston's coming on tomorrow.
He is. I was going to talk about it at the end, but thank you for reminding me. Absolutely. He is going to be coming on. Ralston is a paralegal of mine. He's actually a law clerk. He is an attorney from the island of Jamaica who has immigrated to the United States. And he's an integral part of what we do here at the firm, not only with respect to the personal injury, but also with respect to being the liaison to the community and speaking to people about immigration consultations and how we can help them with their immigration needs. And it's just another reason why we're here to showcase our team. I couldn't be prouder of the people that work at Pollack, Isaac DeSico, 225 Broadway on the third floor. Remember, always on the third floor. But I wanted to talk a little bit about one case. This was actually a case that Matthew Goodstein took the lead on and did a great job. It's a case that we went to trial on and it settled. This was a case, I believe, that they had offered $35,000 as a settlement. And obviously that was not enough. And we began the trial. And during the course of the trial, they came up with a settlement figure that was acceptable to the client and to us. And that was, of course, $185,000. He uses the name Steven. He may be even listening on Facebook right now, or maybe earlier today listening on the radio, because that's how he came to us. Most of the clients had come to us through the radio, through Facebook, through our marketing efforts, because they know the work that we do here. And they've been following me for well over 15 years in catering to the Caribbean community, and they know exactly how we conduct ourselves. And again, we always start with that quote. Squeeze, if you wouldn't mind reading that quote, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. The case handler team is honest, trustworthy, and like family to me. They don't treat people like files, and they will look out for your best interest. Great job by a great team. And this is Stephen from Brooklyn. 185,000 US greenbacks, aka dollars. I love saying that. Sound like the lotto guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And this was an interesting case. You could see here, there's a van all banged up on the sidewalk. Now, why is that? It's because the other vehicle sideswiped my client and clearly thought my client was at fault, even though he was not, and then proceeded to ram my client's vehicle onto the sidewalk in anger. I mean, come on. This was an unbelievable fact pattern. They were still contesting it, saying that our client, his vehicle got hitched onto their vehicle by some magic violation of the laws of physics, but I don't know. And they kept ramming him onto him, and he had a shoulder surgery. And what I'm really proud about this case and what Matthew had done very well was really put together great evidence. The key to a successful case is the evidence. And this gentleman had a shoulder surgery to his right shoulder, and we had to accurately portray the seriousness of the injury and the seriousness of the treatment to the jury. And we had one of these illustrations made, and we certainly spare no expense when it comes to trial. And I think that's one thing that really sets us apart as well. Attorneys, first of all, most attorneys don't want to go to trial, or are afraid to go to trial, or don't want to have the expense of going to trial. Trials can cost $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But Conrad, as the managing partner, he writes the checks, and he's never once said to me, "Don't do it like this. Can you do it any cheaper?" It's a commitment we have to excellence. It's a commitment we have to being perfect and doing it the right way. And we will spend, as long as it's worth it, as long as the value of the case is worth it, we will write as many checks as we need to make sure that justice is served for our clients. So we were able to put together this amazing surgical exhibit. And you know what? When they see that you're prepared, when the other side sees that you're prepared, and the other side sees that you're about to kick their ass at trial with strong evidence, the photographs, the surgical exhibits. Now, remember, these things were blown up on huge poster boards. Can you imagine Matt Goodstein in his nice suit and his fresh haircut and his legal carrying case, also carrying these big boards? Well, yeah, that's what trial attorneys do. Sometimes you can have a couple of saps behind you carrying those boards, but you know, we're old school. We do it just like they used to do it back in the good old days. No help, on your own, carrying your own evidence to trial, like any good trial lawyer would do. Except me, I have somebody else do it. But you know, for Matt at least, he was carrying his own, and we got a successful result. And you know, it's oh, I'm sorry, I was incorrect. It was actually a $5,000 offer to start.
That was offered, right?
A $5,000 offer. And while we kept negotiating and the insurance companies slowly raised their offer to $150,000, we decided to take him to court, and we got the extra $35,000 we were looking for to cover the medical bills in the case. So it's all about fighting to the end. It's all about, are you going to be the attorney that's going to, you know, really take them to the mat and pin them to the ground and make them pay? Because that's what it's all about. You know, you don't have to ask them to pay. You have to make them pay. And that's why we're so successful. You know, we never can guarantee a successful result, but it's not a coincidence that we're obtaining millions and millions and millions of dollars for our clients when it comes time to receive that one and only shot at compensation. So Stephen, like every other person out there, had one chance. They made one choice of attorney. It was the case handler team, and you saw the result. And that is a testimonial for Testimonial Tuesday.
Absolutely. It's Cruisin with a case handler, my people. If you're just joining us, want to say pleasant good morning, reaching out to Ma Dukes, Bernard Great, Gary Levy. But right now, I want to give everybody the number. I want everybody, whatever you're doing, even if you're on Facebook, I see we have a lot of people still watching the show. I'm impressed. I don't know about you guys. I want for everyone right now, even if you're watching us on Facebook, dial this number, write the number down, and you can even dial it right after we finish on Facebook if you don't want to get off your phone, because I presume that's what you're watching us on. The number for a good, solid law firm in New York City, all right, covering the entire United States when it comes to, of course, immigration, and obviously New Jersey and New York when it comes to personal injury. They also handle criminal defense, real estate law, and a whole lot more, matrimonial. Dial this number, let it ring 15, 20 seconds, and store the number. The number, ladies and gentlemen, is 844-774-3529. It's a toll-free number, and the phone consultation is free. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-PPIDLAW.
And if you can do so, if you're watching right now, well, you are clearly on Facebook. If you're hearing and seeing us right now, tip your waiter. The information we provide out here is free. The consultations is free. The entertainment is free. Tip your waiter. How do you tip your waiter? It's by hitting the share button and hitting the like button on your Facebook, on your account. That way other people can see it. That's how it spreads. That's how we can get the word out about the show we're doing here every day consistently, starting at 8:30, talking about personal injury, talking about immigration, talking about true life success stories, bring on other attorneys in different capacities. Yesterday we had Alexandra, our O and our P visa specialist. Tomorrow we're going to have Ralston Dixon, our paralegal and client liaison. On Thursday we're going to have our partner Fred Yadman. He is. He'll tell you exactly where he's from and what he's doing. Very exciting. He's a great guy, an infectious smile and a warm personality. We're bringing him on tomorrow. And then of course, Thursday, right? The closer. We're bringing the closer on. Who's the closer? Fred DeSico, our transactional partner. The partner that really, Conrad is the guy that manages the dealings of the firm. But, if it's not for Fred, God, no deal would ever be done at the firm. He is the closer. He is the man. We can't wait to have him on and introduce him. And it's just about providing quality content right now. We're all home. We're all quarantining or semi-quarantine, but we're all have time to really give back, to really give the information, to really broadcast the services that our firm provides, and to really let you know that there are attorneys out there that do things much, much differently than most firms. We don't treat you like a file. We treat you like family. We do our best to get you a successful result. And if that's something that you understand is important, and if you believe in what we're saying right now, again, you'll have that number saved, 844 PPID Law, and we're here to help. Thank you so much, Squeeze, for an unbelievable Tuesday. And we look forward to doing some amazing things in the days, the weeks, and the months to come.
If I can just step in there for a sec about Fred DeSico coming on Thursday. Fred and I have been partners for, 30-something years. We went to college together. That's how long we've been together. Fred is going to come on to talk about he's the transactional partner. He's the deal maker at the firm. All kinds of real estate, contractual matters. That's his thing. Particularly, I think what he's going to want to talk about, because it probably is a subject that affects a lot of people, a lot of our listeners, rent. As a tenant, what are your obligations in terms of paying your rent? You lost your job, you can't afford to pay your rent. Are you going to get evicted? What are the laws right now in New York on that subject? By the same token, landlords, they have bills to pay as well. They have mortgages and various expenses they have to pay. They're not collecting rent. What can they do to get through this crisis that everybody's dealing with right now? Fred's going to come on and provide a lot of insight on both ends of that subject when he comes on Thursday. And I know we've been talking about it daily. He's chomping at the bit to get out there and show what he does so well. So he'll be here Thursday.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, this is obviously Cruisin with a Case Handler on Link Up Radio 93.5 WVIP FM, and also on Facebook. The Facebook pages, The Case Handler, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, PPID that is, and yours truly, David Squeeze, Annakie. We've got Nelson Maverick, okay, the immigration attorney. Like I said, I love talking about the fact that he's a top gunner when it comes to removal proceedings. We also have, of course, the managing partner, Conrad Pollack, and we have, of course, the handler himself, the case handler, the man who I'm extremely proud of, of what it is that he has done for the past 15 years for the Caribbean community. And he's been practicing for about 17 years. With that said, we're about to conclude. But ladies and gentlemen, dial this number, because he who represents himself has a fool for a client. All right. Every one of you should dial this number. You never know when you are going to need an attorney. And I want to ensure that you have a good attorney. So dial this number now and store it. Let it ring 15, 20 seconds. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. It's very important that you understand that your immigration consultations are free, phone consultations, all right? Now, I haven't said it for the past few days, but I'm going to say it again. Nothing lasts forever. That's how I look at it. Nothing lasts forever. So take advantage of an offer when you're getting it. All right. You're going to be speaking with an attorney for free. Make the call. The number is 844-774-3529. No, you don't have to actually come on the radio, come on Facebook and ask a question. Some of you, rather your business stay off of the airwaves. Not a problem. Call them now. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make sure you check it out. One reminder, this has been an attorney advertisement brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Progress does not guarantee similar outcome, but as I always say, choose, of course, Cruisin with the Case Handler, and call the attorneys over there at 844-774-3529. It's brought to you by Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Check them out, 844-774-3529. With that said, thank you so much for joining us. Check us out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Bring your questions, but more importantly, pass the number on to your friends, your family members, your foes. Give it to everybody that's out there You just need one law firm, ladies and gentlemen. And that's, of course, Pollack, Isaac, and Masico. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Cruising with the Case Handler. Don't forget Saturdays at 7 p.m., Sundays at 12 noon. Bye-bye. Have yourself an amazing day and stay safe.